And we welcome you back to our local candidate interviews on WFJA and WWGP Radio, and brought to you by Sandhills Broadcasting and Brick Capital Video. We are here in the WFJA studio. I'm John Ramsperger and your host for today's Sanford City Council candidate interviews. I remind our listeners that today through Thursday, each afternoon, these interviews will air live on WFJA and WWGP, as well as stream on the WFJA website. Videos of the candidate interviews will also post each evening on the WFJA website. Our next interview for the Sanford City Council race is Ward 1 candidate and Democrat Mark Akinosho. And Mark, I told you this during the break I would do this. I erroneously had introduced you as Republican Mark Akinosho. Mark and I have known each other for several years now. And Mark had migrated from the Lee County Republican Party to the Democrat Party. And we had a little banter about that and joked a bit about it. And he said, John, that's okay. But Mark, we welcome you to WFJA and our candidate interviews.
Thank you for allowing me to come today and come and speak about the city. Yep. John and myself know each other for long. And
that's right.
It's good to see John here doing the interview. He does that the first month of the first Monday.
First Monday of the month.
The month. So he's a pro with that.
Thank you, John. You're referring to my public policy luncheon.
Policy,
that's
yes,
right.
yes.
Thank you for saying so. You're very nice to say that.
So,
but yes. So thank you for your time today, Mark. We
you
look forward to chatting with you. So tell us, those that are listening, a little bit about yourself, your background, and why you're seeking election to the Sanford City Council.
Yes, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Mark Akinosho. I'm a local pastor. I'm also I'm a business owner. Mm-hmm. I live in Sanford for almost 30 years now. Mm-hmm. And I have been migrated from corporate world to doing going to business. When I went to ministry, I used to be a job they call actuary. That's what I studied. Mm-hmm. And I worked there for corporation, and I never still left academics. I one degree or the other. I do different things, and I teach in college sometimes. So, but I'm so glad to be here to come and talk to you about City of Sanford. First of all, I was first recruited years back, before I even ran for school board, by the former mayor of Sanford, Cornelia Olive.
Yeah.
Cornelia asked me to run for city council, and she, before they even got Gaskin, she said, Mark, you will fit into that position. And I said, look, right now, I just have all these young kids. I don't think I have the time for that.
Right.
And then I said, I'm going to run for, I said, if the Lord allows me, I'm going to run for school board in the future. So, and that's what I did first. I'm always a man. What I say, I try to do. I'm not perfect, but I try to keep my word to people.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, as Mark had referenced, we've known each other for a good while, but your kids were born and raised here.
Yes.
And did very well in the Lee County schools.
They did very well in the Lee County schools.
As I recall, you and I haven't talked about this, didn't they attend Ivy League schools?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so rock on and good for you.
Thank you.
I'm a bit jealous, but that's fantastic.
I have what you call it, my daughter, this May, she will be graduating from medical school.
Oh, good for her.
And she's going to Harvard to do her residency.
So she's going to support you then?
She's going to support me then. So I can do whatever I'm doing for free.
That's right. Sincerely. And yes, we're kidding with each other, but congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Very well deserved.
Thank you.
So back to our city council questions. You are running for Ward 1.
I'm running for Ward 1.
And that's the expired term for current Councilman Sam Gaskins.
Yes.
Which is primarily West Sanford.
Yes.
What do you see as the biggest challenges ahead for the city council during the next term?
The biggest challenge that I see is working. We are growing.
Yeah.
And the growth have to be managed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm fortunate to be serving on the board, planning board.
Oh yeah,
Lee County Planning Board, and we see all kinds of things that come around to the Lee County Board. And I will say that if our growth is not planned to have the right infrastructure that we need for Lee County, we will be in trouble. We will be like a city, the city of Austin.
Is it growing too fast?
Grew too fast, and then have a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So when I get on the city council, by the grace of God, if He allow me to do that, I have to be a voice to them to say, we need to grow our infrastructure. I'm someone who do exercise and run around in the evening and walk and jog. What's going on is that when you go into the old part of the city in West Sanford, you'll be smelling sewage.
Interesting, right?
That's not what you want in that kind of neighborhood, and that's a concern for me. That we have to do something about it. Even when money is coming, we have to put it in infrastructure. A part of our infrastructure is what you call it is the people, the city, the staff, the police. Those are infrastructure. The physical infrastructure is part of the infrastructure. So those things that we need, we have to work on that.
That makes sense. Yeah. So the city of Sanford has had success in luring industry and business, as you well know, to our area. What do you see the city council's role in such recruiting?
Thank God, I'm maybe I don't know if my opponent ever served on SAGA. I did
Sanford Area Growth Alliance.
Yeah, Sanford Area. I served on SAGA as the chairman of the Lee County Board of Education. That was my past life.
Sure.
So I serve on it, and I get to listen to see the good job these folks were doing.
Right.
Bob Joyce and Randolph and all of the people who were there before. So I get to see firsthand the kind of job, and they're doing a great job. So for us is to be able to give them the package they need to law business here. That's the role of the city council, to see, to ask questions, to see the location, what we have for them, and then to make sure that we support their effort to bring business here. And then we also, maybe from education, we also have to be able to encourage young people who will be the future to go to the community college, get the trade skill they need for all this job that is coming here.
Well, and with the Lee County Promise program through Central Carolina Community College, a student of any of the Lee County high schools can actually attend for free and get an associate's degree 2 years at community college.
Yes.
Which is outstanding.
It's outstanding. I wish that's there when my kids were going to school. But it wasn't there. So that's what is important, that when we think of it, those are kind of saying opportunity is here. And we have to encourage, because some people don't even know. And when they know, maybe they don't have family who push them like you and me push our kids to do their best.
That's right.
So we're not telling them to do what they can. We tell them to do what they can.
That's right.
And the job that will be available for them.
So back to more of economic development and recruitment. How do you feel about the using tax incentives to bring industry to Sanford?
Tax incentive, I think, is a good thing. If it's planned well, and you let the people know that if you don't do what you say, we're going to take part of the money back from your hand.
Correct.
We'll prorate what you've done, and we'll take the rest back from you. So
it's typically tied to
the job,
to the job, and to how many employees they bring on.
Exactly.
So it's actually not a free handout, so to speak. So I do understand what you're communicating. But that's right. It's not just a free lunch, so to speak.
No, it's not. It's not. So, and it's taxpayers' money, and I feel that that's very important for us in Lee County.
Similar question: in a community like ours, there must be a balance of recruiting industry and what has been explosive growth for new home construction, but yet protect the folks that are here in Sanford as well. So recently, we've heard about many folks who are complaining about, you're not going to bring that to my backyard, including in West Sanford. How do we keep this balance? And is one aspect more important than the other? Pro-growth, keep it like it is.
We have to be able to balance both. But what's going on is that you have to have a growth that makes sense for neighborhood. When you're developing, I'm talking to a guy who knows about real estate. We have to see what fits, because when you're going to sell your house later, when you want to do things, they'll have to look at the comparables. If the house that's sold in your neighborhood is a $200,000 or $170,000, and the other house is $160, by the time your house sold, that's your comparables.
Of course it is.
So, and that's a big
based
problem.
on data.
Based on data. So that's a big problem. So we have to see what fits, because right now in West Sanford, we don't have a lot of trouble for crimes. But if you put in what doesn't belong in some neighborhood, in some community, then it's difficult for the law enforcement to actually monitor or take care of the area, because what happens is scattered all over the place. So you don't know.
Increased population.
Yeah, you don't know where to center on to say, okay, this is what we think can happen here.
Well, and getting back to your previous comment about infrastructure, both
Yes.
personnel and hard infrastructure, which
Yes.
might be water and sewer, we do need fire and police protection and everything else that goes along with that.
I know a lot of these people, police are people, and I'm a supporter of police as a parent of a federal law enforcement
Oh, yeah.
person. So I'm not going to say which one, but as a father of a law enforcement, a federal law enforcement officer, I support the 100%. The police, the fire, our first responder.
So again, this is similar. We're breezing into some of these questions here, Mark. The safety of our citizens is obviously important in the role of city and the city police department. So how important is it for you as a potential council member to help create good public relations between the Sanford City Police and the community?
And I think it's very important for me when I get on the board to be able to put myself in their situation and put myself in the other's situation. Being a father of a law enforcement person, I understand their pain, and I understand the other people too. So we have to be able to balance to say, okay, we want security. Right now, you can live at West Sanford in some areas there and not have to worry too much about somebody's going to break into my car. But if we are not managing our growth and we're not helping our law enforcement, yeah, every one of us can have a gun, but if you're there, you can defend your house. But if you're not there, you still need the law enforcement. And ambulance is one of the things that I was talking about, infrastructure. We need to help, city council need to help with our hospital here. You might say, no, they don't have anything to do with it, but we can talk to the people. This is what we expect in our community, or you move on.
Well, that's true. It is a private entity, which is a Duke Life Point Hospital.
Yes.
But it is a community hospital.
It's a community
It's our
hospital.
Only hospital, indeed.
And we need to do something about it to make it, to be able to attract doctors. I have a daughter who is a physician, so that we can say, you guys can come back here and work. But if the hospital is being bashed by everybody and people don't like it, how do you want them to come and work here? How do you want them to move here to take care of us when we become old?
Which is public relations.
Exactly.
In other words, it's the whole ball.
It's the whole ball.
Yeah. So certainly the city has completed many beautification projects to include downtown Sanford and downtown Jonesboro. Well, with those public monies spent, private monies have come in and reinvested in those areas. What types of projects would you like to see ahead for the city of Sanford?
I would think that the job that the beautification committee is doing downtown and everything is good, and what we have spent money on the bicycle ride and every area and the Kiwanis Park and things. I just feel like we need to do a little more as we are growing. And my other number one thing is we need to be planning where the schools are going to be located in the future, because Lee County is not a huge land mass.
It's actually small, yeah.
It's a small. So if we don't have a plan for where we're going to locate what, and we sold all the land to investors, then we go back and buy it for $10 million for a tract of land that we could have gotten much cheaper from the owner when we're planning it well.
Appropriately, not trying to jest and joke about this, but if we had a crystal ball, we as a county, not as a city necessarily, because it's a countywide school system, should have bought land for new schools 3 and 4 and 5 years ago.
Yes.
Because now, because of development, the land prices per acre have gone up.
It's gone up.
So I get what you're saying.
And serving as a chair of the school board, serving as a vice chair, serving on the board, also as a member, when I look at different things there, we run into difficult situation when you're looking for land to buy. Because now, they know school system need the land now because there was no plan ahead to think of it. Now government wants to buy, and how much we have to spend on it.
Sure.
Then
the budget,
the budget. Then you just raise your price to meet it.
I know. Good old-fashioned greed.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but it's actually municipal citizen monies.
It's
not private money.
It's not private money. It's the people's
taxation.
money.
It's
the people's money.
Yeah.
And if we take a lot of the money and we use it like that, what will happen is that then we have to raise taxes.
Yeah.
And I don't really.
And that's not very popular.
It's not very popular. I don't like taxes myself.
So I asked this question of Linda. In my estimation, the hyperpartisanship that is certainly prevalent in national politics trickles down to the state level, trickles down in a regional, certainly county and city level. But what is your position for what I am calling partisanship? And do you believe that you are beholden to a political party, or do you believe that you vote your conscience?
That's one thing I've done for my 8.5 years on the school board.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not beholden to any party. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I switched from Republican
Mm-hmm.
to be a Democrat, because
Mm-hmm.
of the people that I'm representing, the children of Lee County,
Mm-hmm.
not the partisan. So what I feel like, if I go on the board, everyone on both sides are my friend when I was a Republican.
Yeah.
And even now, everyone serving on the Sanford City Council, they are all my friends.
Oh, good.
We
Yeah.
know each other well.
Built relationships.
So when I get there, I believe I'm going to be able to fit in, to
Mhm.
work with them, and to see where we're going, and to see what's next for for Sanford and Lee County.
Mhm. Well, Mark, we want to thank you for your time today. And on behalf of the station, we wish you the best in the upcoming election.
Thank
Again,
you.
Mark Akinosho is running for Ward 1 with the currently expiring term of Councilman Sam Gaskins. Mark, any final words you want to say before
I
we're
just
done?
want to say, my name is Mark Akinosho. You can look back and see what I've done on the Lee County Board of Education, and I feel like I'm going to honor every one of you for allowing me to serve you on the city council. Thank you for helping me, and I will expect that you go out, you take the democratic ballot for the primary so that you can vote for me. Whether you are unaffiliated, whether you are what you call a Democrat, I need your vote starting on Thursday.
Mhm. Well, I want to join Sand Hills Broadcasting and Brick Capital Video in thanking Mark Akinosho for taking time to talk with us today. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to talk about with the Democratic candidate for City Council, also in Ward 1, Ken Britton.